So welcome at Apidays New York. We're really glad to be here. And for the one who don't know Apidays yet, Apidays is a series of conferences running for the last 10 years, since 2012. And actually, the mission of Apidays is to connect the human behind APIs. So just a quick question in the room: who have been at an Apidays conference before? Yeah, some people, some new people there. Perfect. Yeah. So breakfast is over for some people here. Perfect. Yeah, and actually, we used to do it in person only, but since the COVID-19 crisis, we're doing it in person and remotely, right? So API Days is a series of events happening worldwide. We do approximately 10 events a year in 10 different countries. So we're in New York today, but again, if you're interested, if you know other people in the API space, we do conferences in Europe, in Asia Pacific. We have a lot of people asking to go in South America or Africa. We look for partners there to land the conference. But yeah, so we try to evangelize the API mindset. So API Days is a 10 years of event, like more than 70 events, like a lot of attendees, a lot of sponsors, and an online community of 300,000 members who follow what we do online. So don't hesitate to be part of this community, also by registering to what we provide online. So API Days is not only conferences, we do different activities to help companies to adopt the API mindset, from consulting, helping company hire. We do specific research, classes, training on APIs. We also provide content, and I will show you where you will be able to find it in the next few minutes, right? So first initiative that we run that we really care about is the Women in API initiative. So we don't have enough gender diversity in the tech industry, and especially in API space. And we've identified that for many reasons, like female does not apply as much as male to be speakers. So when we have to select speakers, there is a gender bias already in the call for speakers. And because we don't want to look for people because they are from a specific gender, we have to make more people apply to the CFP so we can be completely agnostic when we decide about the content, right? So we have developed this program called Women in APIs, where female who are totally skilled but not confident enough to apply to speak can find a program where other female speakers can help them, coach them, train them, and give them the confidence to apply to be speaker. So this is why we will love to invite first-time speakers to our event, because you have to speak for the first time before being an experienced person. So yeah, so if you feel you should talk at a conference, or if you know female colleagues or friends who deserve to be speaker at API conferences, you can refer them to that program. The second initiative we run is called the Sustainable Digital Challenge. So we help large organizations to rethink their architecture and application according to eco-design principles. So it's a challenge we've done for the 3 years. It's a 3-month program where companies rethink the code aspect, the architecture aspect, the UX aspect, and the hardware aspect of their application according to eco-design principles. So we have a few dozens of mentors around the world who help companies to adopt eco-design principles to reduce the carbon footprint on their IT systems. The third one is an initiative I wanted to share. It's a media platform on APIs, a community-driven media platform called APIscene.io. So I invite you to go there. A lot of our speakers love to give a written version of their talk, where you will be able to have to discover it in a different way, not in a talk, but more in a text-oriented way. So yeah, I invite you to go on APIscene.io or to contribute to APIscene.io, right? Last but not least, an initiative that we run called the API Industry Landscape. So we try to map the whole API industry into one landscape, and actually, so it's an interactive landscape online, but at least on photo it looks like that. It's 1,100 API tools, API management, backend, or API consulting companies also are part of it. Integration platform as a service, API testing tooling, API documentation tooling, developer portal. So we try to map the whole ecosystem into this 1,100 map, but you will see online, it's interactive. You can click, browse, search into these. And actually, we get a lot of data from this landscape. We check all the funding of companies, right, across all different areas of the world. So we check for different categories. We check numbers also of these, so we see trends about, is API testing more trendy these days, or why do we see more new API consulting companies, right? Happening. So we see things happening also on that front. We see also like the different, like say, velocity. We follow LinkedIn employees numbers. We follow where people move. So we really try to get about where the industry is leading, right? Definitely. And also we give insights. So I just resumed these insights here, but because we write a report every year about this landscape, insight about how open source is changing the API management market, how regulation are changing also how we build, and how organization needs to publish APIs, right? How we see specialization of API solutions, like in specifically regulated industries like insurance, banking, or logistics or healthcare. We see also like API security as being a standalone like product now. It used to be part of API management now. So we see a lot of stuff. We see also that the no-code aspect, like how tools now to onboard citizen developers. So if you are interested more about this data, more about this research, you can download the State of the API Industry 2022 on this link. So apidays.global/industry-reports. So you will be able to find all this exclusive insight, all the data, and also a link to the interactive landscape. But so we are in New York for Apidays New York, so I try to explain what has been Apidays of the last 10 years, but what can we expect in New York? So first, over 2 days, we will be around like 500, over the 2 days coming at different time, and we have 1,200 online attendees, so we are live here. 10 minutes ago, we had 300 person live approximately. Hello, live people. Yes, so we are trying this hybrid model. So some people will be there today, live tomorrow. Some people will be live today, in person tomorrow. So we're testing this hybrid moment. So everything is recorded live. Everything is streamed live online on the Hopin platform. So we're experiencing this. So don't hesitate if you have any feedbacks as an attendee, as a speaker, as a sponsor. That's important to us to understand how we can build the next generation of conferences. So never forget we're not alone. People are watching us, but in a good way, right? They're just attendees and community members, right? The tweet, the official hashtag of the event is APIdays/NYC, APIdays NYC, hashtag APIdays NYC, and you can refer to the main Apidays account at Apidays Global, right, where we would love to retweet your whatever photography of a slide, or your quote of a talk, or whatever the real stuff you will take in photography during the event, right? We would love to retweet that and have fun with you sharing about it. The topics we'll talk about, so we'll have different tracks for the 2 days. The topics will be, on one side, really business-oriented, and one side, really technical-oriented. On the business side, we'll talk about mostly the API mindset, like how we can help decision makers not just adapt to APIs, but adopt the API mindset, right? How they can think differently in terms of exposure, as much as hiding capabilities, but how they can expose capabilities to build new businesses and new business model. How they can revert the firm, how they can accumulate more value because they're connected with their ecosystem and they orchestrate it, right? So yeah, we really talk about these topics. We'll talk about like business models, like how we can monetize APIs directly, indirectly. So we'll talk about these examples. Some banks will here to tell us how they do that. Also, APIs as a product mindset, how APIs used to be integrated, now how they're consumed like a product, like how you build APIs that developers will love and company will love to consume, right? We'll finish also on the governance and management aspects, like how you govern as a large organization, like how do you build your center of enablement? How are you able to onboard new stakeholders who are not convinced about APIs, or how do you onboard architects who believe they're doing APIs? And so you say, look, something different happening in the last 10 years. Let's talk about like this mindset. On a technical side, we'll talk about the classic topics about API lifecycle management, design, documentation, development, security, testing, versioning, like everything about how to build APIs that are great, that scale, and that are maintainable over time, right? We'll also talk about the new standards, So we have in industry like OpenAPI, Async API, GraphQL, gRPC, and other stuff like that. So for the more technical between you. So quick background here. Who has identified themselves more as a business background? More technical background? Who has none of them? No, I'm joking. Yeah, so you must be the CEO, right? No, I'm joking. So yeah, and at the end, we will try to understand what we call the programmable society, how we can link IT systems to each other, so when our customers, our partners are evolving, actually we are evolving with them, right? How we can totally interconnect the businesses, the business models, and the IT systems together. Just about the floor plan, some logistics aspects, right? So we are here on the what they call the first floor here, and actually, so we are in the main stage area. We have two hubs there where all the talks will happen. So when we will split into different tracks, you will be on the other part of this floor, on the hub 1 and hub 2 and hub 3 there, and for the one who are having some breakfast, the sponsor area is below this floor, right? So in the basement, in the ground floor, it's called like that. The Wi-Fi, important, right? So the Wi-Fi, on every table you will find small black cards with the Wi-Fi name, but the network is Conveni, like Conveni Center here, and the password is stay connected, right? So we do these events to be connected, so stay connected during the event, right? We especially want to thank our sponsors making this event possible, helping us to be back in person and hybrid in the same aspect. So first, really, IBM is a global sponsor of all our events. This event will not be able to be there to happen without their support. So really thank IBM for their support. And I invite you to look at their booths to be able to know what they're offering for you on a more recent basis. We also want to thank the gold sponsors. Slide, yeah, come on. Okay, the gold sponsor is there, right? So other API management, API security solutions, API consulting companies, or communication platform as a service companies are there. So WSO2, Whip Security, HighGraph, Software AG, DataStax, Digital API Craft, and Twilio. Thank you for being gold sponsors, because again, this event is not possible without you. Also want to thank the silver and bronze sponsor. That's important also to have a place for everyone in the community and also be part of the event. So really thank all the silver and gold sponsors and community sponsors.